What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of the GrowingAU Show, where we're going over the stock market's winners and losers to help you find and determine the best place to put your money in the stock market. As you may have seen, and if you haven't, there'll be a link right here. Last week's episode, we went over the 7 best 5G stocks you may need to be investing in 2020. More on that episode right there. However, one of those stocks in that video I was very impressed with and very excited about, and that is a stock we're going to be diving in deeper to today. So let's roll that intro and jump into possibly the best 5G stock of 2020. Welcome to the GrowingAU Show. First of all, I do want to say really quick, this video is sponsored by the subscribe button. So if you wouldn't mind hitting that for us, just so we can stay, sponsored by the subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it, guys. I always appreciate your support. Let's jump into it. So there's a lot of 5G companies that you can be investing in. There's a lot to pay attention to the rollout of 5G that's going to be sweeping across the world. It's going to be really important. And the company that we're going to be talking about today is one of the key players in the rollout of 5G. We talk about there's 2 main positions you can be in the 5G investing market. You can invest in the gold mine companies or the companies that supply the pickaxes to mine the gold mines. The company we're going to be talking about today, I believe, isn't just a gold mine company. It's not just a pickaxe company. It's providing the land in which to actually mine the gold mines. So that company today has been talked about in multiple lists by The Motley Fool, by Yahoo Finance, by Investors Business Daily, by USA.com. All of these different sites have been praising this possible one stock that we all need to be looking at, and that is Crown Castle. Now, what is Crown Castle? Well, Crown Castle has a lot to do with some of the major US and world telecoms. What they specialize in is providing the operating and network infrastructure for these companies to exist. What that means is they basically build the cell phone towers that we all know and use to transmit signal to our different devices and things of that nature. Now, Crown Castle builds these cell phone towers and these different connective devices that allows all of our devices to be connected on a strong network. There's a couple of other providers out there that are doing a very similar thing, and we'll be talking about that competition in a little bit. But there's a few key aspects of Crown Castle that makes them specifically leverageable when it comes to the 5G rollout. Number one being that Crown Castle specializes in something called small node cell towers. What this is referring to is it refers to the size of the cell tower, and basically the size is directly related to how far the signal can be spread. Now, when it comes to people's thoughts on Crown Castle, one of the biggest complaints about the company is the fact that they specialize in small node cell towers. And companies like American Towers or SBA Communications, 2 of their biggest rivals, which we'll go into more in a second, they focus on the large scale cell towers that you may be familiar with, like those huge like Burj Khalifa shaming structures that are out in the middle of nowhere in those flat fields that send signal over a very wide area. Now, the reason that's important is because when it comes to the rollout of 5G, 5G signal is not going to be able to be transmitted over those large cell towers that like American Tower and SBA Communications specialize in. The reason being is that 5G connection needs to be very strong, and it can only be transmitted over a very small area due to the strength that's needed to actually allow 5G devices to work. So what that means is for 5G infrastructure to roll out across the United States, what's going to happen is we're going to have a lot of very small node cell towers interspersed across suburban, urban areas that allows all of these 5G devices to stay connected to a strong network. What that means is companies like Crown Castle that specialize in small nodes, they did really well with 4G, but they're going to be doing even better as 5G becomes more mainstream because their infrastructure is going to be absolutely essential to having all of this work. To put it very simply, Crown Castle is investing in the technology of the future and the infrastructure we're going to need for the future rollouts of faster generations of connectivity compared to what's happening right now. So that being said, we kind of know a little about what Crown Castle does. They're providing basically small cell towers. What are some of the numbers of Crown Castle? Well, the current share price of Crown Castle is $172.16 with an annual high of $172.54. So they are right at their annual high. They are an annual low of $114.18 with a PE ratio of 88.30, with a volume of 3.29 million, an average volume of 2.24 million, a market cap of 71.75 billion, and a dividend yield of 2.84. They have a monthly returns of $17.70, that's 11.46%, an annual return of $46.27, that's 36.75%, and over the last 5 years, they are currently up 109.82% or $90.11, all of that courtesy of Robinhood. To give you some EPS information, earnings per share, we have June 30th of last year, that's up 52 cents. They have September 30th, that's 58 cents. December 31st of 29 cents. So let's talk about what the bulls have to say about Crown Castle. Well, to be honest, network connectivity continues to increase every year. The amount of people that need to be connected to the network just continues to double and double and double and double. So with the rise in video and the future Internet of Things, which we talked about in this video here, we know that Crown Castle and their connective network is going to be in higher demand as things continue to increase and as connection becomes more important, specifically super strong connection. Similarly, as we said, Crown Castle is the forefront player in the 5G connectivity rollout. They are the leading in that industry. They are the leader in the small cell network industry, which is going to be essential for 5G to become mainstream. Finally, Crown Castle has virtually assured returning growth due to their long-term leases with contractors and also the fact that they have high leverageability over their costs and prices. Because basically what that's saying is that if a company, let's say like Verizon or AT&T, wants to switch to another small cell network or company, it's going to be high switching costs to that company. Similarly, a lot of the US telecoms do use these third-party companies to spread their signal rather than trying to build their own infrastructure just due to the cost of it. These companies already have that infrastructure in place, so they naturally providing a great service for the US telecoms. As far as the bears are concerned, they do not like the fact that Crown Castle is pursuing small cell areas, saying that they are going to be relatively minuscule when it comes to large tower growth. Similarly, they say that small cells are just kind of at a disadvantage when it comes to the amount that you can get from a full tower. The problem with this, however, is that it does not take into account the fact that 5G rollout is going to be a major player over the next 5 to 10 years. So honestly, the biggest complaint that the bears have against Crown Castle currently in the 4G generation is going to be completely different when it comes to 5G. And the main complaint is actually going to become basically Crown Castle's key strength is the fact that they specialized in this area that, as we said, is essential to 5G. Some other quick things you need to know about Crown Castle is they have 40,000 current cell towers. They have 70,000 on air or under construction small cell nodes. And fiber, which is the connective thread that brings everything together, they have over 80,000 miles of it connecting all of their systems. So honestly, this company has a lot of infrastructure built around itself. They have two different types of small nodes. They have outdoor and indoor small nodes. Basically what that's referring to is if there's a lot of connectivity needed outdoor, they can put them outside, and if there's in large interconnected indoor spaces, kind of like, you know, stadiums and things of that nature, they can also put them inside as well. Small nodes are really rather unobtrusive. It's a very small footprint to have those set up, and that's gonna be really important for 5G because we're gonna need a lot of them, and they can't really be taking up a lot of space, especially in urban areas. So they're gonna be able to have that low footprint, low profile, and it's gonna really allow Crown Castle to continue to grow. This is the final point. What Crown Castle does, the connectivity that they provide, is going to be integral to allowing 5G to become mainstream. Crown Castle is doing some major things. They are the key leader in that industry in the small node cell towers, and I do believe they have the chance to continue their impressive growth over the next 5, 10, 15 years as 5G becomes mainstream. Signal size is not going to get smaller when it comes to the next generation of technology over the next 10 years. So honestly, what that means for Crown Castle is they have a continual leverageable position when it comes to the connectivity and their leverage over the US telecoms. I think Crown Castle is a very reputable company. I think it is an investment worth looking into. It's an investment that I am personally going to be looking into and consider adding to my portfolio very soon as we wait for this 5G rollout. I think Crown Castle is really impressive. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below, what do you think about Crown Castle? Do you want us to go over American Tower or SBA Communications, some of their biggest competitors? I mean, we saw that graph. That graph shows that Crown Castle is leading even in the tower market. So I think there's a lot to be proud of with Crown Castle. I think I am very interested in them. And I look forward to doing more research on them before I actually go ahead and make some of those investments. But I think as far as what you need to be investing in with 5G, obviously, as I said, we do have that video linked up top and in the description below. But I think Crown Castle has the potential to be one of the best stocks that you can be investing in when it comes to 5G. Are there other faster growers? Potentially, yes, always. We have to be aware of that. But I think Crown Castle has a lot to be interested in. So let's take a look more into Crown Castle. Let me know what you think of them down below. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.